Hello and welcome. The combined forces of social, mobile, analytics and cloud are having a transformational effect on businesses in India. Let's understand what those effects are and what it means for you, the consumer, and for the businesses who are trying to make your life much more simpler. I'm joined by three people who will contribute to this discussion. Rangu Salgame from Tata Communications, Rajiv Sabharwal from ICICI Bank, and Anil Jaggia from HDFC Bank. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. So the analytics part, how is better analytics helping, or first of all, how are people doing better analytics, and how is that better analytics maybe helping change the way companies do business?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at going, I'll give an example of just the kind of explosion of data we are seeing in the world today. Pardon me. You know, about 6 months ago, old data said that 90% of the data we see on the internet today was produced in the last 24 months. 90% of the data. Now, you extrapolate this for the next 5 years, we're going to see data at a growth that we have never seen in the history. And so that explosion of data, whether you're taking just video of your family, whether you've got these different channels for your consumer banking applications, so that data explosion now is putting a lot of pressure on institutions and enterprises. How can we mine data? How can we create some intelligence out of the data so it can provide the services that the consumers are looking for? So for example, Rajiv mentioned about the multiple channels. Now you have a consumer wanting to operate through multiple channels through their service provider for the bank, for example. Now you need to make sure that you provide those services and all the data you're collecting, you're able to mine that data, have analytics around it so you can now come back and provide more intelligent service to the consumer. And so the whole thing around data analytics has become extremely important. We're collecting data, but now what do we do with it? And so these are becoming a very important aspect.
So Rajiv, has that transition happened from, let's say, data mining, which has been around for a while, to the kind of high-end data analytics that really helps you do things for your consumer or respond quickly?
A lot has changed, to be honest with you, and we're seeing this change happening in every area. We have close to about 150 strong analytics team within the organization. Initially, when we started off, this was largely used for sales, but over a period of time, it's getting used for service, for better risk management. We're today using it within our own HR systems to evaluate employees better, to manage risks better. So, you know, today I would say data is being utilized by each and every group within the organization.
So these guys must be the most powerful guys in the system now, right? Because they have pipes into everything that's happening in the entire organization.
I won't say powerful, but they are the people in demand. Everybody wants to use them. Because we are realizing that if you use data, you can come to far more efficient decisions than you would without.
Can you give me an example where you have done that? Yeah.
Like, just, you know, I can give you multiple examples.
So maybe I'll give you one, right? So,
then I'll come back to you, yeah.
So analytics, obviously for a bank like ours, is extremely important. And in various shapes and form, analytics has been used for a long time. An example I'll give you is risk analytics driving a credit card portfolio. Now, our credit card portfolio has by far the lowest loss rates in the industry. And one would normally say, listen, that's because you are very selective with the cards that you give out. And that's not true, because we have double the number of credit cards to the next competitor in the industry. So we have large number of credit cards outstanding and with the lowest delinquency. And that rides extensively on a risk analytics engine. So that's one very telling and compelling example of how analytics can be used.
And this is, you're saying, is a step above and beyond what the kind of analytics we knew even a couple of years ago, right? There's something, the way you're looking at the data or you're able to crunch it is different.
We're always improving, and as I said, this is a continuum. It's not a discrete that, you know, last you were doing some poor formal analytics and now you're suddenly doing something different. So it's a continuum, and then obviously we've been, you know, doing it better.
Okay. So Rajiv, you're talking about the 150 information czars you have sitting in your organization. And so how you've used them.
So, you know, what I just wanted to tell you is how, you know, how diverse can be the usage. Clearly, you know, traditionally everybody has used it for better risk management. I can know how, you know, at an early stage whether the delinquency is going to hit me or not. How do you pick up a portfolio using scoring models and other things so that it performs better than everybody else. We've talked about the next product to be sold. But, you know, I think so there are areas beyond this for which we can use. For example, today I can find out in a particular pin code and within the sub pin code also what is the penetration of assets in that area. How many people own cars, how many people own, let me say, a house, and so on and so forth. And that can help me even decide where should I put up my next branch. You know, a lot of the decisions
there's a lot of bigger decisions which are taken, not just the here
like
and now of consumer interaction. Yeah.
For example, I'll tell you, we all do 360-degree evaluation, you know, internally within the HR system to get, you know, more information about development needs of a person. But we also need to, when we are rating so many people, we also wanted to find out, do some people have a bias of rating people higher than others? Or some people have a bias of rating lower than others? All this can be found using data. And then you can use the information more appropriately. So your ability to use information becomes far better. And as I was telling you, whether it's deciding to open up a new branch, better risk management, better sales targeting, better internal control systems, a lot of this is being used for Basel III. You know, how to provide capital. So, you know, the use of data, which was limited to a particular areas, is today transcending all boundaries and getting used across the organization for different things.
You know, that 90% of the data in the last 2 years, of all internet data has been created in the last 2 years.
And also what happens is, if I may,
please.
Some of the examples that are being talked about, these analytics now are possible because of things like cloud. You can have supercomputing power in the cloud now. So you can have large amounts of data that require crunching, that require analytics. In the old days, you need to invest a lot in your own supercomputers or large computers in your own data centers. Now with the availability of cloud, corporations like this can quickly get on, do a lot of analytics on by demand, computing on demand, and be able to do these analytics much faster than sooner than ever before at a much lower cost.
Right. So that's a fine note to end on. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you.